Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, another Despicable Me movie. If you thought that the developers had run out of creative ideas in making these movies, then you'd be mistaken, as they just found another way. Now, the first two Despicable Me movies, I think, are perfect movies. The 2015 Minions film we don't talk about. Despicable Me 3 was a fun movie, and heck, I'd even say The Rise of Gru was an excellent film. But in this movie, it's almost as if the franchise is starting to become a lot weaker and nowhere near as good as it once was. Despite this, there's at least a bunch of energy left in this series, and Despicable Me 4 is still a good movie because of this. So, let's discuss the qualities of what makes this movie anything but despicable. Before we start this video, don't forget to leave a like on this video if you enjoy it. And don't forget to subscribe, as well as hitting the bell icon to see more content. Thank you, and enjoy. Starting with the goods. The animation, I will admit, is definitely the best to come from the franchise. The characters look a lot more cleaner than ever, and some parts of the film really pops for me. Like, compare this to the first Despicable Me film. You can really tell just how far we have come with the franchise, and with it all being very well known for its beautiful animation. What I also like about this movie is that it also pays homage to the series by showing its audience old characters and plot lines. You've got returning characters like Gru's dog, Kyle, Dr. Nefario, El Macho, Vector, and the list goes on and on. This is pretty good because it helps tie the storylines all together. And also, no offense to seeing the old characters back, but I'm also getting really tired of seeing this exact plot for the recent movies where they bring old characters or themes back just for nostalgia bait. It's also nice to see Gru pull off a heist, just like the old days when he stole the shrink ray in the first. Thankfully, the returning characters are all still as likable as they've been, and the new ones are really enjoyable, like Gru Jr. being really funny, and Poppy Prescott is also a charming sidekick for Gru. I also really liked the Mega Minions, despite being pointless and just being there to extend the series more. But they are really unique iterations of the already beloved Minions, as they get new jobs at the AVL, Anti-Villain League, and become new weapons for the League to use against the villains, unlike the purple ones from Despicable Me 2. Despite this movie lacking a bunch of it that made the other movies so enjoyable, the action is still really fun to watch. There are a bunch of scenes I really liked, such as the supermarket chase scene and the small heist sequence. I also loved the Mega Minions just steamrolling the heck out of Maxime at the end, with him just walking out of it like it was nothing. It was pretty satisfying. Although, again, I just feel like this was so anticlimactic, and I wish it could have been done so much better. And also, the returning actors are still great, and the new ones especially. Will Ferrell is an easy shout out, Joey King is fun to listen to, and Ramesh Ranganathan as Dr. Nefario, despite being small, is a great recasting from Russell Brand, and thankfully does still give Dr. Nefario that strong British accent he's used to having in the other films. To be honest, it's still a joy hearing the actors bring life to their respective characters and make them all really enjoyable to watch, even if the plot goes too far. As to be expected for a Despicable Me film, the humour is still very great and isn't as forced. It still has its funny moments and running gags, with my favourite funny moment being during the scene where Gru and Poppy arrive at a school for the heist, getting a badger. Gru picks up Gru Jr.'s baby package for weaponry instead of his own, and then we see that he was going to get it back, only for us to see that the hot air balloon takes off with one of his minions simply saying, "Oops." I don't know why, but it makes me chuckle a bit. I also like how Gru uses his son's baby things as weaponry, and it being so stupid that it actually works. Finally, it has a lot of messages to explore like the other films. I also like how it more reflects on adult messages instead, so that even parents can take notes from this movie. It delivers good adult messages of how to be a parent and what it feels like to spend good time with a newly born child. It shows this to an extent and may also teach a good lesson to people growing up as an adult, as well as what they experience. Now for my big negatives. Starting off, there's plot holes all over the place. What exactly happened after the events of the third film? What happened to the whole Drew film plot? Why just ignore it altogether? Why are the villains like Vector and the ones from the Minion spin-off films in this? Shouldn't Vector be still stuck on Mars? And shouldn't the villains from the spin-off movies be much older? How did Dr. Nefario get unfrozen after the third film? And why are none of the old characters aged even after 14 years since the first film? And don't even get me started on Gru's girls not aging. Also, something I don't like about this movie is that it can also get really disturbing for a kids movie. Some examples like when Maxime turns people into roach hybrids, or the scene where Lucy burns Melora's hair off during her job at a hairdresser, or the minion Mel with the laser eye, which its temperature is so hot that it can cut through the earth. Yes, I'm not even joking. It destroyed a glass window, an igloo, and a satellite with that much range. Something else I don't like is that we are still making sequels to this movie franchise. The Mega Minions only exist in this film just so Illumination can find a way to continue this franchise. I feel like this series could have been better ending off at the second film, but instead they make more due to the box office run that Despicable Me 2 had. Sadly, the villain, Maxime, also isn't a memorable villain, really, at all. And neither is his girl, Valentina, who exists only as a plot device. And the other villains getting redeemed at the end is dumb because they are supposed to be evil. And also, at least those other villains were memorable in their films. But Maxime isn't really, aside from Will Ferrell's phenomenal voice acting he brings to him. Finally, the plot is completely just a big mess, with lots of stuff happening. It fails to properly give detail to what's even happening. Either that, or the film's humour gets in its way. It all felt so forced. It's like they took the mediocre plot of Despicable Me 3 and made it worse. I just wish it all wasn't so complex, which is what made the first two movies stand out and easy to watch. This one feels like you need to know a lot to understand what's really going on here. Overall, my final opinion on Despicable Me 4, it's definitely the weakest of the series, aside from the 2015 Minions film. It's kind of like my relationship with Kung Fu Panda 4. I still enjoy them, but they have a lot of room for improvement to match up to the best installments. Despicable Me 4 is still a fun film to watch. I was not expecting to see a full film being made, but I guess Illumination needs more ways to milk this franchise. Either way, we have a lot more story details to tell now, whether it be for the Despicable characters or the beloved Minions. So whenever the next installment releases in the near future, the series will help point us to the next of the coming storytellings. What is your opinion on Despicable Me 4? Even with its problems, did you still enjoy it? How would you improve this movie? And would you want this series to continue more? Let me know in the comment section below. And also, don't forget to leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. And subscribe to my channel if you are new. And hit that bell icon to see more content on my channel. Thanks for watching. Despicable Me 4 offers plenty of vibrant colours to give its youthful audience a good road trip. But it really feels like this beloved series is starting to run out of energy.